Let's face it, social media can be very distracting. It is a big attention getter, however. And so this video is all about how to avoid getting distracted via social media, how to stay focused, because you know what can happen is, and I know a lot is going on right now. I'm just gonna keep it real with the Diddy and the Cassie trial and da 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 da. And I am a very disciplined person, but I have found myself like, okay, let me just watch for a few minutes, and next thing I know, I'm looking at my watch, and I've already looked at 2 hours of something that's related on social media. And the other aspect of social media too, there's Instagram, there's Twitter, well, I guess it's X now, and there's Facebook, and you name it. And those can be very big distractors if you're looking to be really productive. Okay, so I am going to focus on talk about 6 ways to keep from being distracted on social media. Number one, you want to think about, when I look at social media, like for example, I'm just going to keep it real with this, even though it's there's a lot of sensationalism and a lot of what she did, what he did, what and a lot of good journalism. I'm looking at one young man, and he is doing great with his journalism, and he's getting picked up by a lot of different high-profile journalist stations, because he's doing such a great job just through his YouTube. But anyway, moving right along, so you want to think about, how is it benefiting you when you're looking at or participating in social media? Is this benefiting me? Now, if you are on TikTok and Instagram and you have a goal set for yourself in terms of that's part of your business, or you're going to make money, or you're promoting, marketing something, well, that's different. But when you're just on there, hee hee ha ha, and I see some folks on there dancing on TikTok and all, I'm thinking, well, they're trying to get views, but if I'm looking at it thinking hee hee ha ha, how is that benefiting me? So you want to think about, so one of the strategies for overcoming distractions is think about, how is this, okay, if I'm looking at 2.5 hours of the trial that's going on right now, and then, you do whatever else you need to do during the course of the day. So I just lost almost 3 hours watching the trial, making comments, calling somebody, texting somebody, did you see such and such? I mean, it's tempting. But then I have to look at, how much time am I actually spending, on social media, and is it benefiting me? So I'm going to kind of look at my little cheat sheet here, because I want, I want to address social media, because social media can be a big distractor. And there's some strategies too that say go on a social media fast. What does that mean? It means stay off of social media. You just don't do it. Say 24 hours, a week. Well, a week is a long time, right? Like a week from social media, I don't know. But, so it's almost like you have to, like people are using drugs and they go through withdrawal. So if you're used to being on social media and always got our phone up, and, a lot of us, even me, I'm constantly looking on my phone. I'm like, put the phone down, okay? It doesn't happen within the last 30 seconds, okay? But anyway, so we can spend a lot of time on social media. All right, so think about number one, think about how it's benefiting you. Number two, think about how much time, which when I suggest you can do a social media fast. Yeah, you can do a social media fast as I suggested, and just say, you know what, today I'm not going to deal with social media at all. Not today. Let's try 24 hours and see. Well, maybe 8 hours, and start off slow. And then, just try to just kind of, pull back a little bit, because social media can be like, kind of suck you in, and, with all the different platforms and all the, things that are going on the various platforms, it's really quite tempting. So staying focused, recognize how much time you're spending, and you might even write down, like in my situation when I just mentioned looking at the Diddy trial and all this, just write down, okay, you didn't spend a half an hour looking at this particular individual comments on a YouTube channel. Okay, that was 30 minutes. Okay, then you looked at 2 hours of this other commentator uh, discussing the actual trial. They were at the trial. That's 2 hours. Okay, that's 2.5 hours. Okay, then later in the evening, you pick up, you look at your phone again or your YouTube channel and you see somebody else has a different slant. Okay, that's 3 hours. So actually jotting down, okay, how much time am I actually spending on social media? So if you're not looking at a YouTube channel, you might be on, X, or you might be on Facebook or Instagram. And I'm not saying, you can't go on there and get right off, but there's some people who are actually addicted to social media. I'm not going to call names, but there's somebody that I know very intimately, and I don't care where we go. We can go out to dinner, we can go on a cruise, we can go just on, whatever, just for a little R&R, rest and relaxation, and they will have their phone out continually with their head down, looking on there, and, I could tell that they're, engaged in social media because they're like addicted to it. They don't know, okay, put the phone down. It's time to interact with the people who are right here, right now in your presence, and not be on social media. So, all right, so moving right along. So, at the beginning of your day, set a goal for yourself. What is it that you want to achieve? What I do is, because I'm always thinking, okay, I only have 24 hours in a day. We only have so much time to live. And I want to take full, I try to have some fun too. I'm not a little nerd, just want to sit up at the computer all day, because that's not good either. You need some balance. But I also want to you want to set some goals for yourself. What did I achieve today? What did I accomplish? First of all, set your goal for the day. And then at the end of the day, look at the goals that you set for yourself and say, do you have your little check off? Okay, did I do this? Did I do this? Did I finish this? Did I complete this? And you might even have a little box down there saying, how much time did I spend on social media? And be honest with yourself, because I think you'll be surprised at how much time the average person actually spends on social media. So again, so we're moving right along. Set a limit. If you are going to go on social media, set a limit in terms of the amount of time you're going to spend, and that's it. That's it. Because what can happen is, like I said, social media just can consume you. The other comment I want to make, the other suggestion I want to make in a way to stay focused is, don't start commenting. A lot of, and I guess I'm kind of, defeating my own purpose here, but not really, because I'm going to ask you to comment. My name is Amina Maria, and I want you to subscribe and like and share. So if this has been helpful for you, I appreciate that. So, and then if you leave a comment, I will definitely get back with you. But what I mean by comments is when you're on social media and somebody makes a comment, oh, well, da 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 da, and the other person says, oh, da da da, and then you go back and forth. I see some of that where you're going back and forth, and I'm thinking, these people, they ain't got nothing better to do than go back and forth with somebody on social media, And so you look at whether or not you're engaging in, the back and forth with the comments, which is a real a time drain, or it'll consume your time because you get so caught up with going back and forth with somebody or somebody made a comment and you feel like you need to go and respond back to that particular person. And actually, in the end, how does it benefit you? That's why I said be really specific about the goals for each day that you set. And at the end of the day, do a little check off. And if you didn't accomplish all the goals, you can, of course, reestablish those goals for the next day. So what else did I want to say about social media? So like I said, you can write down the number of hours how much time you actually spend on social media. Limit the amount of time you're on social media. Set goals at the beginning of the day for just the goals that you look to achieve throughout that day. And hope to accomplish those and set metrics for yourself. So maybe midday or mid-morning, you say, well, I finished this or I plan to finish this, and set goals according to prioritizing what it is you want to achieve throughout the course of the day. Recognize how much time you actually spend on social media. Be real honest about that, in terms of how much time you're actually spending on social media. And as I said, avoid all the back and forth, going back and forth on social media. The other thing, the last one I want to suggest in order to stay focused so you're not being distracted by social media is avoid scrolling. I'm guilty of that. I've already read one YouTuber's comments about whatever, or Instagram or whatever, and I'm saying, well, let me just see what else, and just so you find yourself scrolling and looking for more, and then it's also a way to keep you from being able to fulfill your goals and being focused, and it's a big distractor. And if you're prone to procrastinate, you fall right into it you got a big help with social media. So we want to work on fulfilling our goals, our objectives, and giving a really close look at how is social media really benefiting me, and how much time am I really spending on social media, and how is it benefiting me or helping me to achieve the goals that I say I want to achieve. So there you have it. I think those were 6 ways to avoid being distracted by social media and being focused on your goal. Because I'm all about, not just continually to talk about I want to do this and I want to do that, but really put put your one foot in front of the other and start working toward goals so that you can achieve the goals that you set forth for yourself. And believe me, you will feel so good once you achieve those goals. But social media will drain you, and next thing you know, you spend half of your week just hours and hours on social media. Nothing against social media, but we want to just kind of keep it in check. All right, so I'm going to sign off for now, and I thank you for checking out my YouTube channel, and check out the other videos, which are really pretty much about how to make money offline and online on YouTube, Fiverr, the other platforms. So I have lots of great information to share with you. Thanks for checking out my channel, and I hope to see you at the top, because that's where I hang out. All right, Maria signing off, and leave me a comment. Bye-bye for now.